Hi there, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do something a little bit different because, as you should have seen from the intro, I have a huge pile of books, and for those of you that were here before the break I had last year, you'll have seen this pile before, and you will have seen that I'm trying to battle my way through this channel, through this pile, because at the end of the day it's a read and get rid of pile. I might keep some of them, but I'm not going to keep loads of them. The idea is that they're a read once or an unhaul. So I decided to embark on a reading challenge, and as I'm a little bit ADHD, definitely an ADHD now, I am doing something a little bit different, and I have prompts which come on a wheel. Where's my phone? So what I've done is I've done a wheel which will... Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's not getting any better. So I've got a spinning wheel that where I have put on there prompts that I've made up in relation to music, retro, mixtape. It's got those kinds of vibes. So we're calling it track by track. And then I will be endeavouring to, I want to say get rid of, read and get rid of, or just unhaul. Because that's a plan as well. If on the route I go, no, I don't want that, then I can unhaul as I go. I can just turn around and go, no, don't like that one, not going to do it. So then hopefully we'll be clearing. The idea is track by track, clear my shelves like a playlist, and then by the end of the year we should have none. I'm about to run out of battery. Ooh. Oh. Right, back in a minute. Okay, that's better. Sorry, I had to change my battery and all the batteries were dead. So we finally found one. So the idea, I don't even know where I was. But the idea of this is that we have a spinning wheel. I have 10 different tracks or 10 different prompts that go around the wheel. As they come up, the prompt, I read it, I deal with it, I do what it says, and then it disappears. So you'll find that four more, so if I take 4 off this month, which is what I'm going to start with, and then I will put 4 new prompts on there to go round when we get to February. So the idea is that basically I'm going to clear the pile that way. The idea is that I get rid of 52 books, at least 52 books this year. It could be that as I go through the pile I think, no, not going to read that. No, it's not the first one in a set and I haven't got the first one in a set and I really don't care. Then they can be unhauled, and that just adds to the number. And I will be keeping track in my journal of how many that I'm unhauling. And I will let you know in each video where we started, how many have gone, and how many I've read, and what I thought of them. So I think without further ado, you'll see the spinning wheel come up here, and then let's talk about, let's do some spinning and we'll find out what the first book's going to be. I'm going to choose all 4 at the beginning just because I like to know what's coming. And then, yeah, so we'll see. Let's find the spinning wheel. You'd have thought I'd had this really handy, but here we go. So the first one on the spinning wheel, you'll see the spinning wheel come up here. I'm looking down just because I want to watch it spin. So the first one on the wheel is Rainy Window. So with Rainy Window, that's the name of the prompt, and then I've got a list of what these prompts actually mean. So Rainy Window is choosing something atmospheric. So I've already been through the pile, and I decided that the most atmospheric thing I could find was Atmosphere. It's been nicely chewed by Rolo, bless her soul. I'd rather have her. I'd have her back and she could eat the whole book if she wanted to, but it ain't going to happen, unfortunately. Bless her. Do love. But the so I decided I was going to read this one. So Atmosphere, I looked up atmospheric, and it can be a love story. I thought it had to be something a bit weird, a bit creepy, but no, it can be a love story. And this was on my TBR anyway, so I wanted to read it. So it's an easy one to get either out of my stash or onto a shelf if I decide that I ultimately want to keep it. So yeah, it's all about summer in 1980. It's about a female astronauts, which I think is, you know, a bit of girl power going on here. And there's a big love story. So I'm not going to ruin it by going over too much of what we're doing. And that'll be my first read. So what I will do is once we've chosen all our reads, I will go read them and I will come back when I've got something to feed back. So that's the first one. So if we bring up the spinning wheel again, we'll find out what the second one's going to be. Spin. Go. There we go. So the next prompt is Rainbow Echo. So I think this one was a multicoloured cover, I think. Where are we? Yes, this one is a multicoloured cover. I didn't have many multicoloured covers, so I just went for a cover which had it was predominantly one colour, but it was quite bright. So I've decided to read It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. It's probably one of the most colourful books I've got that isn't a children's book, because at the moment I'm really not in the mood to read a children's book. But I've not read a Tessa Bailey, but my friend Emily reckons that it's not a bad read. So we shall give that one a try and see what we think. It's also okay to DNF. I'm saying I will DNF this, but it's okay. The rules are that we choose from the prompts, we choose from the pile, we either read it, decide to get rid of it before we've read it, DNFing it is fine. It's all a case of just encouraging the pile and reading the pile and, you know, getting the books off to the places that they need to be. So some of these I'll donate to work once I've read them. You know, it's very much a, it's more of a case of getting the books where they need to go, and also I can have my corner back. So yeah, and also it'll give me more time to read the things. I say read things that are coming out, that are coming up, that I'm really excited about. So, you know, it's almost like it's not going to be the thing in the corner that is giving me jip. So this is the year for decluttering. So yes, so that one is our multicoloured cover. So we spin again, because we need to spin 4 times. Whew. All this excitement. Okay, so what's the third one going to be? Neon Nights. Right, let's have a look at Neon Nights. What was that? Oops. Definitely don't need to do that. Right. Neon Nights is bold cover, bold vibes. So for the vibe, I asked my friend Nicole. So she gave me this because she'd finished with it. So apparently this is a bold vibe. We'll see what happens. Apparently it's the author is very similar apparently to Beth O'Leary and Ali Hazelwood. So in other words, in theory, I love both of those authors, so it should be something that I'm really going to enjoy. So we will see. It looks like she's a nurse. She's either a student nurse or a student doctor. It doesn't actually tell you on the back. Violet Winters is starting her first week of nights and she is petrified. She's a straight-A student, but practicing medicine on real people is another matter entirely. Seems like being a straight talker can get you in hot water when it comes to patient care. Oh, it's a Christmas one as well. With no one special to spend Christmas with, she signs herself up for the holiday shift. How much damage can she do? And I think we'll have to wait and see. Oh no, she's a doctor. It says on the top, 2 doctors, 1 Christmas, 12 hours could change anything. I think that could be quite an interesting read. I know it's Christmas Eve, but we can read Christmas throughout the year. We're adults. So that's book number 3, and then I have got a slight unhaul pile of ones that I found en route that weren't first in a series and I couldn't get excited. But let's go back to the wheel and let that spin and see what we get up as our 4th book. So our 4th one is Cozy Corner. So this is a book that you could read in a quiet nook. Oops. So I decided to choose a Heidi Swain because I am aiming to get to the end. I say get to the end, get up to date on the Heidi Swains, and this is, I think there's one other, and then this is the only one I haven't read until she gives out another one. So I'm very excited, but I always feel like an Heidi Swain is a bit like a hug, or a little bit like it's something cosy. It's sometimes Christmassy. This one's autumnal, autumnal. And yeah, we're back in Wimbridge, which is great because that means we're back with our, we're back with our usual characters, and it's just, you know what you're getting with a Heidi Swain. They all interlink all the different places, and you get to find out how everybody's doing, and it's just absolutely lovely. So I'm quite excited about that as well. So this month's track by track books that I'm going to read, or at least try and read, are these. And then there's two that I've unhauled. So I unhauled The Shadow Key because A, is the second one in a series, B, the font is tiny, and I was reading the back and it's a little bit historical, and I'm not quite sure what I think about a historical one. I kind of feel like, yeah, I looked at it and I was just like, I'm not feeling the same excitement as it was when I thought, oh, this could go in the read and get rid of pile. The other one is what I would call fluff, because it's what I used to read. So a lot of the pile could end up going, because it's the type of book that I used to read before I got into like cozy fantasy and romantasy. This is also the third in a series, and I'm not excited about reading the other two first. And I have to read a series in order. So, and that is A Perfect Cornish Escape by Philippa Ashley. So they will be the first two books that will be going on the list to unhaul. And yeah, I now need to go and do some reading, and I will be back when I've read a book.